Let's do this running back Keno. Okay. So for those of you watching at home, we've got this Keno board. Have you ever played Keno?
Well, no. I found out what Keno was about 14 minutes ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never played Keno either. But from what I understand, it's huge with like adults over 65 years old. So the producers, once again, just nailing our target demo. I think it's like women over 65 play Keno. And so here, as we're trying to, appeal to a younger crowd, people.
I think there was a Keno episode in a Better Call Saul kind of episode, but it was in a retirement home.
That makes sense. Yeah. I've seen Breaking Bad. I have not yet got to Better Call Saul. I hear it's terrific. All right. Anyway, the idea here with running back Keno is that we're just sort of in Keno you get to choose your numbers.
Yes.
I guess. So I'm going to choose my running backs. It's the running back dead zone. It's all these guys that are going in sort of a, sort of mid to late round running backs. And so which one of those guys on that board do you want? And I'm going to say Ramondre Stevenson. I have Ramondre Stevenson ranked ahead of Damian Harris.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Look, so he had 5 different games last year with 12 or more touches, okay? Over 75 yards from scrimmage in all of them, 15.8 fantasy points per game. I just think Stevenson's the better running back. He's the more versatile running back. Damian Harris is a nice player, but he's a north-south runner between the tackles. Ramondre Stevenson is somebody that is going to inherit the James White role automatically with James White retiring. He's the best pass-catching running back on that team. And he's also somebody who's big enough that can go between the tackles. And one of the things that I think Belichick wants to do, and you've seen him do this before, is like a lot of times, you'd watch a Patriots game, you're like, why is Rex Burkhead running up the middle?
Yeah.
And that because it got to a point where you knew if LeGarrette Blount was back there, they were running up the middle. If James White was in there, it was a pass. And so Belichick wants to try to change it up based on who's out there. And Stevenson gives him more versatility in the play calling. Whoever's calling plays for the Patriots this year, we still don't know. To me, I just feel like Ramondre Stevenson, who, if you looked at week 2 against Carolina, he was part of their 2-minute drill. Okay, last year he was not a part of the 2-minute drill. Again, that was always James White. He's going to get all the passing down work and half of the rushing work. Give me Ramondre Stevenson, not only as a late round sleeper, but give me over Damian Harris. I'm at running back 29, 88th overall, which are both higher positionally and overall than Yahoo has them.
Yeah, Belichick's publicly praising his pass game skills, Stevenson, and he does have that upside to be the first Patriots 3-down running back in forever.
Corey Dillon?
Yeah, Corey Dillon.
Right?
Yeah. So he's got that upside. But the guy I'm taking first is Nyheim Hines. And the reason for this is that I'm thinking about coaching and coaching philosophy, and someone like Pete Carroll, in his bones, he wants to run the ball. He wants to run the ball on first down, second down, and then throw on third down. I don't think Frank Reich wanted to be the guy who had the bell cow running back last year in Jonathan Taylor, which is running him constantly. I think that Frank Reich wants to be more diversified on offense. I think that he wants to throw the ball more. I think that one of the most interesting games of all last season was Colts-Bucks, where Frank Reich just threw the ball like 22 times in a row. I think that we saw what he wanted to do with Andrew Luck as well, and I think he was just petrified of Carson Wentz. And he was so scared at the end of the season, and now you get to enjoy that for this season.
Thanks.
But look, Nyheim Hines, I think it's real, lessening Taylor's workload, using Hines as a receiver, not running Taylor into the ground so much, just taking care of his career a little bit more. So I think there is some scope for Hines to exceed expectations.
I like the call here, especially where he's going, especially if you're in a PPR league or half PPR league, especially obviously he has more value in PPR, but I think he will be used as a receiver more often than not. And listen, if you don't want to take Jay Croucher's word for this, will you at least take Frank Reich's word for it? Because Frank White was given a quote, and he just said, listen, I don't play fantasy, but if I did, I'd draft Nyheim Hines this year.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Again, Frank Reich not totally understanding ADP with Jonathan Taylor going number 1 overall. But I think you are right in that, Hines is going to have a significant role on an offense that we think is going to be pretty good this year. So I like that. I'm going to go with a guy named James Robinson.
Yeah,
we love Travis Etienne, but there's 2 things to consider, right? So give me James Robinson. We'll put a little beer mug there. There we go. It's like it's drunken Keno is what we need. This is what it is. Keno would be a lot of fun if you could drink
phenomenal graphic.
It's usually in bars.
Yeah.
Keno is, but look, last year from weeks 3 through 6, he was the 6th best running back in fantasy last year.
Yeah.
Again, and that's with Urban Meyer and everything that was going wrong, right? James Robinson got a lot of touches last year, and I know it's always dicey to use the word touches and Urban Meyer in kind of the same sentence, but I'll just say that he was a guy that on a bad offense got a ton of work and was really productive. We know 2 years ago he was fantasy gold. And so now you think about Doug Peterson coming from the Eagles. Think about Jordan Howard or Jay Ajayi or
Ryan Matthews.
Yeah. I mean, Doug Peterson likes a multiple running back by committee. And Etienne coming off his own major injury, I don't think he wants to run him into the ground. Now, James Robinson is going to slowly come back, right? Peterson said on August 22nd, I don't think you go full steam ahead. Quote, I think you gradually increase Robinson's reps. You don't want to stress his body, but at the same time, he needs to get enough work where he's possibly ready to go for Washington. If that's the case, that is week 1.
Yep.
They're at my Commanders. And so, look, James Robinson is currently going 112th, running back 42. We know about the talent. If he's healthy enough to be active for week 1, you're not starting him week 1.
No.
But having him on your roster, again, I think this is more of a committee. Etienne, I get the upside. I think he's explosive. I love Travis Etienne.
Yep.
But where James Robinson is going, I think is really, really interesting. You'll see some Snoop Connor in there to start off. But, yeah, give me James Robinson, who's going in the 13th round. Somebody that has literally been a top 5 fantasy running back at various points each of the last 2 seasons, going as running back 42, James.
Yeah.
Jay, sorry.
Call me James Robinson.
It's fine.
I think with the thing there is that Doug Peterson, no Eagle under Doug Peterson ever got 180 carries in a season. It was all timeshare, and James Robinson averaged 4.5 yards per carry, so he's clearly got it. My next guy is Michael Carter, who we saw.
Doing the DAC.
And my thing there is, like, are we sure Breece Hall's the starter? Why is everyone just anointed Breece Hall as the guy who's going to get, the 3-down workload? Like, he's not. Michael Carter, I think, has some scope even to be the starter and to get first and second down work and not just be a passing down back. And I think that they are going to run the ball. Like, I don't think they trust any of their quarterbacks, really. I don't think Joe Flacco is going to be let to cook. Like, no one's going to let Joe Flacco cook. They're going to confiscate the chef's hat immediately with Joe Flacco. And so I think that Michael Carter is going to get opportunity. And early on in the season, he might even outperform Breece Hall.
He's going as running back 46, 13th in the 13th round. I don't understand the Breece Hall. Well, I get it. The player. I like the player. But again, we've talked about this so many times. Fantasy success comes from talent and opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm with you on talent for Breece Hall. America, I'm with you on Breece Hall's talent. But I'm not with you on opportunity. I think because of the draft capital, people are assuming Breece Hall is going to suddenly be this every down back. And you're like, they're not paying attention to anyone that thinks that.
Yep.
Again, Michael Carter didn't play last night, with the starters resting.
Yeah.
He rested. Breece Hall played with the 2s. Breece Hall played with the 2s. This is a coaching staff that came from San Francisco. Again, they are all Kyle Shanahan disciples, multiple running backs. They like a running back by committee.
Yep.
It is going to be a timeshare between Breece Hall and Michael Carter, behind a bad offensive line that got worse when Mekhi Becton got hurt.
Yeah.
So, and a team that we think is going to be down. We still don't know if Zach Wilson's any good. And we know what I think
we know he's kind of bad until proven otherwise.
Until proven otherwise. Yeah. I mean, and that may be why the moms like him. They like a bad boy. But what we're talking about here is fantasy football. And I'm with you in terms of the ADP for Michael Carter. Again, running back 46. I think you're going to get he's going to get the passing down work, and he's going to, I think he outperforms his ADP.
Yep.
My next guy that I am taking here on running back Keno is Raheem Mostert, or as I like to call him, Raheem Must Start. Okay, look, injuries are a concern. I get that. The anti-Mostert argument is he can't stay healthy. Great, totally understand that. However, when he plays, he's really good. You think about 2019, 772 rushing yards, 8 rushing touchdowns. He was basically, a double-digit fantasy point guy. You think about the title game against Green Bay with the over 200 yards and the 4 rushing touchdowns. Mostert, I have to tell you, is to me somebody that's really interesting because of where he's going, right?
Yeah.
he is currently going as running back 47.
Yeah.
And so he comes to, again, bad injury, but he is somebody that has always been explosive. He comes to Mike McDaniel, who he played for in San Francisco. I don't think we all like Chase Edmonds. I think Chase Edmonds is a value this year. But I actually think Mostert, again, going in the 13th into the 13th round is really interesting to me. Reunited with Mike McDaniel. He's a better pass catcher than he gets credit for. I thought that was interesting. So I think it's going to be a committee. They don't want Chase Edmonds to be an every down back. He's not built that way. And we think this offense is going to be really interesting. And so who gets the goal line carries? I think they'll do some interesting stuff at the goal line with Edmonds and Tirico Hill and Jalen Waddle in terms of some sweeps and pitch outs and that kind of stuff. But when they got to hammer it from second and goal, I think it's going to be Mostert. And so again, health is the issue here, but that is baked into his ADP where he's currently going as running back 47. He's not even been drafted at every league.
Yep.
So give me Raheem Mostert. I think as a upside flyer on an offense that we think is going to be better, reunited with his coach, who has been, when he has been on the field, has been productive. And I think there is a path to him having playing time here.
Raheem the Dream. Yeah, I think that the thing with, he's averaged 5 yards per carry every season.
Yeah.
Does everyone realize that? He's just explosive and dominant. I know a lot of that is Shanahan, but still, just the upside, that's what you're riding at that point. My last guy is Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm riding upside there too.
Very, very sexy.
Yes, very
sexy, very trendy name.
Very trendy. And look, the reason I'm buying in is simply that I trust Andy Reid with running backs in terms of, I don't think there's a team that puts running backs in a better position to succeed down by down in terms of the scheme, in terms of the run blocking. And also, there's a little kind of Antonio Gibson vibe about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's just never happened for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Right.
And so, look, I don't think that Isaiah Pacheco is going to come in and be like the workhorse back and be the next coming of Jamal Charles or something. But I think there is scope just because of the scheme and because of Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I think CEH is kind of, I agree with you, by the way. I think he's a fetch player. You ever see Mean Girls, stop trying to make fetch happen? Yeah. Stop trying to make CEH happen.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make it happen. It's not going to be it. Pacheco played more snaps with the starters. He played 10 than CEH, who played 8, and Jerick McKinnon 7. I think it's a three-headed monster. I think it is Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jerick McKinnon. I think it's going to be a three-headed monster there with Kansas City. I think there's a chance that Ronald Jones, Rojo, doesn't even make this team.
Yes.
The Chiefs have my only concern on Pacheco, and I don't mind, where he's going. He's going as running back 51 on Yahoo, so I don't mind him being drafted. He's certainly a flyer. 7th-round draft pick, definitely has better measurables than, Darwin Thompson, who's, fantasy Twitter is the anti-Isaiah Pacheco fantasy Twitter is always just oh yeah, remember everyone was excited about Darwin Thompson 3 years ago, and look how that turned out. Pacheco has better measurables and is a different player, just a different skill set, different body type than Darwin Thompson. I'm a little bit nervous just because I don't know that there's going to be one Kansas City Chief running back that has a ton of value because they are so mix and match. But I think Pacheco's emergence is more a reason to avoid Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yes.
And I don't mind a flyer on Pacheco. He is certainly a trendy sleeper. You certainly like that. Andy Reid has had success. By the way, can we get a close up of my phone here real quickly? Can we get that? Can we get a close up of this? Can you guys see this? My phone, this text. Can you keep coming in tighter. So keep going, focus in. All right. It's just whatever. You're on a group chain. This is from Matt Casey.
Yeah.
Big boss.
He's the big
Jets
boss.
fan.
He's the big guy.
Jay, you're fired.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.